Straight ahead on 12 News, unclogging an expensive problem. We're in Golden Valley to see what's costing the city so much money. Then, the end of an era. The Northwest Metro's oldest bookstore prepares to close. But first, a possible vote over significant changes proposed in the Brooklyn Park Fire Department. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. The Brooklyn Park City Council could vote tonight on a firefighter reorganization plan.
It would be a significant shift for the department. The proposed plan would hire 18 additional full-time firefighters and have them staff the fire stations instead of relying on paid part-time staff. And Cassie Bonstrom joins us now with the latest on tonight's vote. Cassie?
Well, Mike, Fire Chief Ken Perlman says reorganizing the department is in the best interest of the community, even though it will inevitably impact individual firefighters and their families. It's not a choice Perlman says he wants to make, but he says the current model is simply not cost effective with the department's rising costs. Either way, Perlman says the city will need to hire more staff to continue delivering the same level of service they do now. So it's a matter of money. Do they continue paying a large part-time staff and provide each firefighter with equipment and training, or do they move to a plan that uses full-time crews? Perlman says it's not an easy solution, but it is the best. However, some residents, like Mike Lenz, a former member of the city's public safety task force, are concerned about the future of the firefighters that aren't hired full-time. He thinks the city is moving too quickly on such an important issue.
I don't think his proposal is detailed enough to make a good decision on that right now. I believe there should be a lot more study done on it, and I don't want the council to make too quick of a decision because it's usually irreversible.
Two council members have already told me that they plan to vote against the proposal, and Mike and Alex, Chief Perlman says that if it doesn't pass tonight, then the department will continue with its current model and recruit more part-time staff.
All right, Cassie, thank you. In Robbinsdale, police say 3 alert citizens helped them catch vandals who targeted the city's brand new downtown mural. Around 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon, 2 suspects stole spray paint from a nearby hardware store and proceeded to paint graffiti on the mural. 3 people saw the crime occur and called police. Police arrested a man and a teenage boy minutes later.
This is a prime example of if you see something happening, please be willing to call 911 and let us know what's going on so we can respond and take action.
Artist Sean McCann recently completed the mural after weeks of work, and police say they plan to meet with him to assess the damage. Golden Valley is dealing with a greasy situation, and it's costing taxpayers thousands of dollars a year.
A combination of fat, oil, and grease from Golden Valley restaurants are clogging city sewer lines. But as Delane Cleveland reports, city officials have devised a plan to ease that greasy buildup.
Take a trip through Golden Valley, and it's easy to see that the city has no shortage of places to eat. But food isn't the only thing that comes out of these restaurants.
Well, any restaurant that prepares food has a small amount of fats, oil, and grease. Some will have more than others.
If restaurants aren't careful, that fat, oil, and grease can get into the sewer line, harden, reduce the size of the pipes, and possibly create a sewage backup.
The sewer backup could end up into the building that's contributing to it, or it could end up overflowing out into the street and into our lakes and rivers and streams.
To prevent backups, Golden Valley's utility division cleans those pipes, costing taxpayers more than $114,000 a year.
If we could cut back on that, then we can focus on other maintenance issues that are slowly falling behind as we work on these things.
The answer lies in a proposed ordinance requiring Golden Valley restaurants to have grease traps. Golden Valley has 109 licensed food service providers. About half of them are restaurants that produce fats, oil, and grease. Many of them have grease traps, but city officials say there are plenty of others who don't.
Part of this ordinance is to get the restaurants without the grease traps to install them, and the other portion of it is to get the people with grease traps to maintain them properly.
However, that's if the City Council approves the ordinance. The first step of that process takes place Tuesday night at City Hall.
Really, the ultimate goal is to keep the fats, oils, and greases out of the municipal system.
In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Golden Valley officials say if the ordinance is approved, sandwich shops may not be required to install grease traps. Meanwhile, homeowners can do their part to reduce the amount of cooking grease by soaking it up with a paper towel and throwing it in the trash.
Now to New Hope, where the city will soon have more choices for apartment hunters. Developers and city officials broke ground today on an upscale 32-unit complex called the Gates of New Hope. It replaces an older home and a vacant insurance building on the corner of Medicine Lake Road and Hillsborough Avenue. Developers say there are very few vacant upscale apartments available in New Hope.
I think there's a strong demand for this market, especially since a lot of the other apartment complex and multifamily housing are from the 60s and 70s, and I think this is really giving something new to the residents of New Hope and to surrounding suburbs, being able to find a new apartment complex with all of these upgraded amenities.
Developers hope to have the apartment complex ready for renters by next June.
Fall is usually a time of year when the real estate market slows down. It's why realtors for properties in Golden Valley are taking unusual steps to attract more potential buyers. Agents for more than 45 homes in Golden Valley held an open house extravaganza over the weekend. That's about a third of the city's listings. Realtors felt it was a great way to draw in people who may not have thought about Golden Valley as a place to live.
My favorite thing is you get big lots, and you get a lot of tree cover, big mature trees, and you're still really centrally located.
Sales in Golden Valley are down nearly 18% to date compared to last year.
A new report shows charitable giving has dropped significantly in the Twin Cities. Giving dropped more than 9% between 2006 and 2012, and that's according to the Chronicle of Philanthropy, which analyzed IRS data. The giving rate in the Twin Cities is 2.6% of income. The report also shows the nation's wealthiest Americans gave less to charity, while poor and middle-income people gave more. Coming up, the final chapter of a longtime West Metro bookstore.
And then later in sports, a successful homecoming for the Champlin Park football team. We'll have the highlights.
But first, a forecast that's stuck in the 50s. And welcome back. Robbinsdale-based North Memorial Healthcare has a new top leader. Dr. Kevin Croston has been named CEO. Croston is also Chief Medical Officer at North Memorial, a role that he will continue to serve. Along with owning the hospital in Robbinsdale, North Memorial is a majority owner of Maple Grove Hospital. Croston succeeds Lauren Taylor, who is retiring. In less than 2 weeks, the oldest independent bookstore in the Twin Cities will close its doors for good.
For years, the Bookcase in Wayzata has drawn customers from throughout the Northwest Metro. But dwindling revenues are now forcing the bookstore to clear the shelves.
For many years, we feel that the Bookcase has been very much the center of downtown Wayzata. It's been here for a long, long time.
It's the final chapter for a Wayzata business close to the heart of this community.
Some of my earliest memories are of coming in here as a kid to buy books.
Charlie Leonard started working at the Bookcase in college. 16 years later, he owns this shop, and he'll be the last one out the door when the Metro's oldest independent bookstore becomes history later this month.
Even the customers who, some of them have come in with tears in their eyes, like they get it, it's just the way things have been heading.
In an era of online shopping and changing reading habits, you might expect a small bookstore to struggle. But there's more to the story.
A business like a bookstore really depends a lot on foot traffic.
For years, the redevelopment of downtown Wayzata has created a roadblock to business.
Road construction, building development, stuff that's just really gotten in the way of downtown Wayzata being a place right now that people want to come to.
The retail and residential redevelopment is designed to revitalize this city, but it won't happen fast enough to change the ending for this business.
Oh, very sad. I think it's really important to have local businesses, including a bookstore, that's available to, community constituencies.
Local customers kept the lights on for years, but the aisles are mostly quiet now. While outside, A world of change surrounds this shop.
It's just disappointing that we couldn't make it to see it through to the end.
The last day of business at the Bookcase will be on October 18th. Still ahead, a side of mystery with your meal.
First in sports, Osseo and Armstrong battle in Northwest Suburban Conference football. John Jacobson has the highlights and more coming up next. Well, John Jacobson with sports now, and Osseo just keeps rolling along. Kind of a one-sided win this weekend.
They've had 3 of those in a row now, and setting up for their big game Friday at Maple Grove. Osseo's football team looked to add a 3rd straight win to its resume, leading into their tilt this Friday with unbeaten Maple Grove. The Armstrong Falcons were after their 3rd straight win as they played host to the Orioles. Up 17-0 at the half, Osseo picks up right where they left off. Zach Tyson throws the fade route. Gabe Gallamew pulls it in for a touchdown. The Orioles go up 24-0. On the ensuing Armstrong drive, Emma McClellan takes the handoff, kicks it out to the right and runs for a 35-yard gain into Osseo territory. But 2 plays later, quarterback Collis Barber rolls left, throws it right to the Orioles' Stephen Amayu, who runs it back 63 yards for a touchdown, and Osseo is up 31-0 after this score. Late in the 4th quarter, the Orioles put a cap on the scoring, went on a 4th and goal from the 2. Tyson finds Kadri Wasari in the corner of the end zone. Osseo rolls to a 38-0 win over the Falcons. Also in the Northwest Suburban Conference, Totino-Grace hosted unbeaten Elk River. Elk River grabs a quick lead. Trent Pink to Nolan Dwyer on 4th down for a touchdown, and it's 7-0. Grace, though, goes right down the field in its first drive. Gayflor Flomo's 4-yard score ties the game at 7. Second quarter, Bobby Awanjane darts in from 7 yards out for the Eagles, and it's 14-7 Grace. Elk River fumbles the ensuing kickoff, and Grace recovers in the first play of their drive. It's Lance Bennick to Kez Flomo for a 21-yard touchdown. Grace leads 20-7 at halftime. First Eagles drive of the second half, Gayflor Flomo gets through the hole, and he is gone 49 yards to the end zone. It's 28-7 TG. The Eagles go on to win 35-7. Both teams are now 5-1. Champlin Park's football team lost in Week 5 to Elk River. The Rebels are looking to get back to 500 as they hosted Irondale for homecoming. First offensive series of the game for Champlin Park. Dan Branger scores on a 5-yard run. Branger added the extra point and later a field goal to get the Rebels their first 10 points. Late first quarter, Harrison Jones bounces off one Anoka player and then cuts back to the end zone to score on an 11-yard run. Rebels lead 17-0 after a quarter. Second quarter, on a 4th down play from the Irondale 11, Max Biegert throws to Scott Bowe for a touchdown, and the Rebels lead 24-0. The Knights offense didn't get much going all game. Quarterback Jake Moen is sacked by Trevor Long for a loss here as Champlin Park blanks Irondale 38-0. The regular season in prep soccer is over. A few teams, including Benilde-St. Margaret's, finished up on Saturday. The Red Knights boys hosting Holy Angels. Late first half, the Stars' Ben Becker passes out of traffic to Cooper Sandy, who shoots and scores, and it's 1-0 Holy Angels. Good scoring chance for Benilde here. Griffin Alen's shot is stopped. The ball comes to Luke Horton. A nice save by the defender, Will Zacher, before keeper Jack Forcia covers up on it, and it stays 1-0. The Stars add 2 more goals late in the second half. Becker, with a great individual effort here, beats the defense as he goes in to score. That goal makes it 2-0. Holy Angels goes on to win it over Benilde 3-0. The third-ranked Benilde girls then were at home to face Hill Murray. Maddie Connors, sweet pass to Callan Locario, goes in to score. That goal gives Hill Murray a 1-0 lead. Not any warmer this night for fans of this match. They suffer in the cold. 2 good short passes here for Benilde. Sophia Rue, Emmer Vanderhyde setting up Alexa Tatarin for the goal. And the Red Knights tied at 1 in the second half. This match goes to overtime, and in the OT, Tatarin with the cross out front. Vanderhyde will tap it to Maria Van Hove, who scores to give the Red Knights a 2-1 lead. However, Hill Murray later ties it, and 2-2 is the final. There's a charity soccer game coming up Tuesday night at 7 at Wayzata High School, hosted by the Wayzata Girls Program. Trojans varsity will face the top players from the freshman, sophomore, and junior varsity teams at Wayzata. Admission is just $1 with raffle tickets also available for various prizes. All proceeds will go to funds supporting various types of cancer. So good event Tuesday. One other note, Wayzata boys cross country team wins the Swain Invitational in Duluth on Saturday.
All right, thanks a lot, John. In Local Vote 2014 this week, we look at candidates running for New Hope City Council.
There are 4 candidates running for 2 seats. Jonathan London is an investment advisor. And incumbent John Elder has served on the New Hope Council since 2008. He works for the Minneapolis Police Department.
Hello, my name is John Elder, and I'm on the New Hope City Council. I've lived in New Hope for over 26 years, and my wife and I have raised our 3 children here. I have served as a police officer in this community, and I'm also on the board of directors for the fire department and 7 Dreams Foundation for our schools. I'm committed to this community as a citizen and an elected official. As a councilman, I serve on the Watershed Management District and a board member for the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon campaign. And I am a founding board member for the New Hope Community Farmers Market. The city of New Hope has benefited greatly from the strong leadership you've elected. As you can see, I've worked hard for the citizens of New Hope. I'm asking for your vote in November to allow me to continue this service to you.
Hello, my name is Jonathan London, and I am running for New Hope City Council. I am very passionate about the city I grew up in, and today where I am raising my 2 children. I spent 6 years as a New Hope Citizen Advisory Commissioner and was chairman of the commission for 2 years. I believe one of the biggest issues facing New Hope is housing. New Hope's rental housing is nearly double the Hennepin County average of 25%. This exaggerated amount of New Hope's almost 45% rental housing is directly impacting business development, the school district, and property values. We need to stop building apartment buildings and start building single-family homes. I ask for your vote for New Hope City Council on November 4th. Thank you.
Still ahead, a dinner that includes a murder plot.
A bite to remember when we come back.
Finally, dinner, drinks, and a murder mystery.
And Nonna Rosa's restaurant in Robbinsdale has once again teamed up with Top Hat Theater for a special whodunit. This year's show is called A Bite to Remember, a vampire-involved murder mystery. There are 4 shows starting Friday, October 17th. The cost is $40, which includes a 4-course meal. You can call Nonna Rosa's to reserve a seat. Adventures ensue, right?
Yeah,
and there's also a costume party in addition to it. So one more thing to add on to that. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next, and we'll see you tomorrow beginning at 4.